Welcome to Potatoes Gang. It's so great to have you join us on today's episode. Today we look at Lagos at 50, and it's been a month of so many celebrations here in Lagos State. We're going to talk to the gang to find out about their Lagos stories and also talk to the viewers as well. So stick around with us, don't go anywhere.
Welcome. Today, our subject is Lagos at 50. What a story. Lagos is a remarkable experience. I remember Lagos in the very, very early days after state's creation. I was a very young high school student. I lived in Lagos. I lived in the Surulere parts of Lagos. And I went to school in Ibadan. And we used to commute between Ibadan and Lagos. Anyway, back in those days, we had Greyhound bus services. People don't know that these things happened in Nigeria. And I would go to school either by Greyhound or my father would drop me at Ido at the train station. And I would take the train and get to Dube in Ibadan and take a taxi up to Agodi Gates and to Loyola College, where I went to school back in those days. Western Avenue was just one lane going back and forth. The Adenrusa area in which I grew up, I think Patrick Doyle in his jokes liked to say that there were a number of great to be young people growing up in, in that neighborhood, Donald Duke himself, and then the people like Patrick Tommy. Anyway, in those days, buses were not allowed into Adenrusa, so I was that kind of exclusive neighborhood. So if we had to take a bus, we would have to walk through an area called Ishawa, Dewale. I think Rashid lives around that area these days, Eric Manuel Crescent, and take some entrepreneurial venture. Somebody put some planks on the swamp land around there.
Canal or something.
Yes, and we'll walk and come out around at Dibola Street and Razak Balogu, and then get on Western Avenue, where the buses arrived on schedule. You know, the bus will stop in Alaka at 12:05. If you come at 12:07, the bus would have passed. It's amazing to think that that was Lagos. But it began to evolve. It began to evolve, and from that narrow, Kurudu Road was, by the way, the same thing.
I'm not sure what you're saying. Are you saying it was better then, or?
No. It's not a matter of better or worse. It's just interesting. It was better in some ways in terms of the fact that you could rely on services and stuff like that. But Lagos was a very small town compared to Ibadan, which was the largest city in West Africa. Today it dwarfs Ibadan by far.
In population.
Exactly, I was
yeah.
saying that.
In population, yes. You know, but then traffic began to build up. It became a phenomenally distressing place to live in. One of my favorite anecdotes of those days, when Second Africa Games was approaching, they were doing all kinds of things. People used to be so frustrated, they would just get out of their car on Adenrusa Square and walk home at midnight. Just leave the car in the middle of the street and just walk home. And come back the following morning and meet their car middle of the road. It's a famous story of this pilot, I guess Captain Kuti, who had just flown in from London. And they were on the Kurudu Road. He was trying to get home to Ikoyi somewhere. After 7 hours in traffic, as everybody does, you come out to go and find out what's happening in this Yaba area, would walk up. And somebody who was on the flight said to him, "Hey, Captain, thanks for the flight." He said, "It took me 6 hours to bring you all from London to Lagos. 7 hours later, I'm still trying to get home." But all of that passed. Lagos has seen a major rejuvenation in infrastructure, in many things. So, it's a great story to tell. But as Lagos celebrates 50, what do we remember the most about our Lagos experience?
Do you remember the odd and even?
Oh yeah! I'll tell you a very great story about odd and even numbers. You know, we talk about corruption in Nigeria. It goes back a long ways. We had a neighbor in this same area who was very clever. I mean, traffic was so bad, cars could only ply on certain days, you know. Odd number cars would go Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and even number cars would go Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays, I guess. And this our neighbor, I think he had an even numbered car. Most people bought second cars, obviously rubbishing the whole purpose of reducing the number of cars on the roads. But he didn't buy a second car. Every morning he would get up very early, get going, just drive up to that Alhaji Masha junction, call the yellow fever person, come. He sit down. The person will sit down, and he will just keep driving with the yellow fever person as his protection. When he gets to Lagos, he'll give the guy 15 naira.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
see all kinds of creativity in this place. And 15 naira was a heck of a lot of money. The yellow fever guy was very, very happy. After a while, I think they knew him, so they were waiting for their 15 naira allowance. You know, it's a very important debate that I've had with people who govern Lagos for some time. And I've said that this idea of mega city Lagos is not my preferred option of how to take Lagos moving forward. Because mega city Lagos is a huge city, so what must you do? Of course, reasonably, is go up. So you reclaim this part of the sea and you build these 50, 40-story towers for people to live in. In a way, you're going to multiply misery, in some manner of speaking. My concept is not to think mega city Lagos, but to think Lagos Ibadan megalopolis. And this concept is you go to Ogiri and you do a nice suburb. You know, people can live like human beings, wonderful all infrastructure in place, nice bungalows, nice townhouses, whatever. And they just get out, get in a train. And in 30 minutes, they're in offices in Victoria, they're in offices in Lekki. And you live in Iyagoku in Ibadan, and you come out, and you get in a train. 45 minutes later, you're in an office in Lekki. That's my vision of Lagos. But the competing vision is the so-called megacity vision. And this argument has been on for some years now.
I don't think it's actually mismanagement. I think it's population explosion. Because what has happened, just let's take it from a typical example of two people living in an apartment. It'll be cleaner, it'll be more organized. But when you have that same apartment and you have like 10 or 20 people living in that apartment, things might not work out like it will work out for the two people living in that apartment. So I think it's more of population. It's not easy to manage people. It's not easy to manage population. Lagos State don't seem to have control over population, the influx of people into the state. So I think they're just making do with what they have in terms of infrastructure and facilities available.
What I said was carelessness, because we saw the generate data that shows the inflow of human traffic in Lagos, and they were not able to rise to the issue.
What would they have done?
Population will definitely throw up infrastructure challenges. Infrastructure should have been addressed at the outset.
Yeah, I think a good
more roads.
A great part of the problem also was the relationship between the federal capital and the state and the resource. Lagos as a special development area, this kind of urbanizing environment needed special status in terms of revenue flows if we have this pre-Bendal arrangement. If it was different and you had self-autonomous units, then Lagos would have probably had other options in terms of how you finance this infrastructure development. Go to a place like Shanghai. I'm just amazed at how the Chinese have come with infrastructure in rapidly exploding new cities like Shanghai. You know, where you have triple deck flyovers. You just stand, you're sitting there, you see this deck, that deck, and all of this has happened in the last 10 years.
Yeah, but in fact, I have a colleague who, way back when, had the design structure for building houses very, very cheaply in Lagos. submitted it, but the civil servants don't want cheap housing. How you can make decking with bamboo and all this kind of thing. People don't want these kinds of quick, cheap, you know. And so we are not building houses that accommodates the number of people that are coming in.
This concrete cement jungle. But anyway, let's take a break. When we come back, we can engage with those kinds of issues of affordable housing and the like in Lagos.
We've heard from the gang and listened to some of their Lagos stories. But it's time for us now to go into the streets and find out what you think about Lagos. Is it working? Let's find out more.
When the government is saying that way, it will be reduced. We don't want people that are just striving to get there.
Okay, the only thing I enjoy in Lagos State that is different from other states is music. In terms of music, Lagos State is fantastic. Both highlife, juju, hip-hop. Those are the things I know about them. All other things, I don't know.
So far, ever since I came to Lagos some years ago now, I think I was experiencing a hold-up everywhere. But right now, ever since Ambode came to power, the good side of it is there has been a very good traffic flow everywhere, especially the Third Mainland Bridge normally shuttle.
And from 2005 to this moment, I've noticed lots of changes in terms of road development, security. Security has quite improved, unlike before, you understand. And, so many other things.
You look at a city like Lagos, and you wonder how anybody can live in Lagos without being corrupt. I mean, think of the cost of housing in Lagos. When I worked for a multinational company many years ago, I used to live in a house in Victoria Island. Nice house, swimming pool, blah, 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 blah. House was leased many years before I joined the company. But somebody paid the rent of $98,000 a year in US dollars for that house for 10 years and paid in advance. That money would have bought a house on Beverly Hills. But that is the way that the cost of living in Lagos has been profiled through the years. And today, I'm not so sure how many people, if they're not extremely hard-working businessmen and are not corrupt, can afford decent housing in a place like Lagos. So how do people live in a very expensive city that stretches the poor? How do they manage?
But let me tell you the paradox. I've been living in Lagos for over 30 years, as you know. There are all kinds of problems in Lagos. But if I go out of Lagos, within 1 week,
you want to come back?
You can say that again. You can say that again. I tell everybody the same. Wherever you go, you come back.
What is the point?
There's something about Lagos that makes Lagos Lagos.
Now you're
it's
talking about
just so different.
Going somewhere in Nigeria. As a British.
Not somewhere in Nigeria.
Anywhere in the world. Oh, yes. Yeah, because my story is.
Yes. 2 weeks you're bored. You're bored still if you want to come back.
A British musician who came to Lagos many years ago. He was at Federal Palace Hotel. All kinds of things happened to him. And he wrote a song when he got back to London. He said, I was in Lagos, the waiter poured soup on me, everything happened. Now I'm back in London, I can't wait to get back to Lagos. and diplomats. And Lagos was the capital of Nigeria. I had a friend who was Consul General at the US Embassy. We'd been in grad school together. Well, he took a year out when I was in grad school and we were friends. And when he got back here, when I got back from graduate studies, he was Consul General in Lagos. And I used to visit with him in his house in Ikoyi. Joseph Cigars. Joe would, after dinner, light up his cigar, look across the lagoon, puff, and say, oh God, what a hardship post. I hope Washington doesn't get to know how much fun we have here.
It actually was so much fun.
Yes. So, great city with soul. One of the reasons I can't stand Abuja is it has no soul. And Lagos has a soul. Where did the soul come from? What is the soul of Lagos? You know, I don't know. You know, but it has magic. That's for sure. I mean, those days, one of the things that changed about Lagos that is returning, that I think is fascinating to talk about, is that Lagos was a dual economy, a day and night economy. Many Nigerian cities are day economies. The cities die at 6 p.m. When we were much younger, even as undergraduates, typically we would go out, in fact, go to a restaurant, go to a nightclub, you leave Phoenicia restaurant at 2, 3 a.m. and there'll be a taxi. And so Lagos had a nightlife. Then we came to a season of armed robberies. And Lagos's night economy began to decline. Street lights were not there, all kinds of problems. But that is returning. And one of the things that the Ambode administration has done is this light up Lagos thing. I remember when they first started, I was coming back from a foreign trip and we were approaching Lagos to land the night. All this light. I said, no, this pilot is landing in the wrong city. Because it has happened before. There was a famous case in or notorious case in the US. I think it was Houston or somewhere. The pilot landed in the wrong airport. I think he was aiming for Intercontinental and landed at Hobby or some crazy thing. So I thought, oh no, we are landing in the wrong city. We landed, it was Lagos, and I said, this is Lagos. Fortunately, I was at an event the week after, and the governor was there. I said to him, what have you done to Lagos? But the night economy is returning. At least in the Victoria Island, Ikoyi areas, people are out all night. And that was Lagos. That's part of where it got the soul. And if you want to see that soul, you see the musical Kakadu. And you know what Lagos was in the 60s and how the return of this. Again, one has to pay tribute to the people who make for the art part of Lagos. The kind of work that they're doing at Terra Culture.
Yeah, but these things they are putting on the road, this person is a person. Are those people Lagosians? So how did they?
No. There are people who lived in Lagos.
Whose success story revolves around.
Lagos, yes. You know.
Because I just thought, this is Fabu now. This is different.
No.
They are Lagosians, but they're not from born in Lagos. Okay. But anybody in the world who has made it.
Yeah, you can say that about all the big Nigerians now.
Yeah. That's the point they were trying to make, I guess. I will not talk here because I ended up one of those people. So. But that is Lagos, the joy melting pot. People came from everywhere, it welcomed them, and they added their flavor to the green of the stew.
And that is really a strength. That, anybody can come to Lagos and own property.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That cosmopolitan nature of Lagos, is home to everybody.
Yeah.
Regardless of your religious or ethnic divide, you're welcome. Lagos is home to everybody. I think that's one of the reasons why Lagos has thrived. Yes.
That's extraordinary.
Yes.
And you know who lost out from Lagos's prosperity? Port Harcourt. Lagos was essentially went from that small town from which I used to go to Ibadan to the global hub that it is today. Because of two things. One, oil, which affected the ports. But there's a port city in the oil area, it's called Port Harcourt. All of what happened to Lagos could have happened there. But people from there were not as welcoming of others as Lagos was. And that basically drifted the energy of Nigeria away from there into Lagos. The battle to get the oil companies to move into the region is still going on after 2 generations of the oil business. Because they are more comfortable in Lagos. At the point in time, it was so bad that the oil companies had super helicopters. Their staff were living in Lagos, and they were literally helicoptering them from Lagos into the deep oil seas every day. So it says something about the nature of the city. And those who have made it work, maybe run, deserve commendation. You know, I think perhaps in that sense, who were the people who made Lagos work? By the time I was Lagos had a huge variety. I used to call it the biggest dustbin in the world because garbage was
everywhere.
In the place. It was just, and then the Guardian used to have these incredible cartoons. The waste disposal vehicles were called the waste dispersal trucks. Because they just been distributing the waste as they were going along. And then suddenly all of that disappeared. Lagos began to be clean. One of the things we do in our country is hit hard people who have not done their work well. But we don't remember to celebrate those.
To appreciate those, well. Yes.
And so something phenomenal happened in Lagos. Like it or not, a great part of that is associated with a guy called Bola Tinubu. Because it was under his leadership that these things began to happen. These plans began to unfold. And Lagos is really a product of the vision that came from that era and the kinds of people that he managed to find to carry on that.
Yes, just to add to what you said now, I think continuity has also played a major part in this success story. Yes, because if Bola Tinubu has started it, and then somebody comes and says, "Come, what you've done is rubbish," and then start off, and then there's discontinuity, we won't have what we have today. So yes, he started that blueprint. He came up with that blueprint, and so far, all the leaders that have occupied the seat of the governor of Lagos, they've continued in that path. That's why we have what we have today. The beautification, environmental, sanitation, all of that put together. Transportation is also booming in Lagos. We are getting there.
Well, on that note, I think we have to call it a day on a note of hope.
Happy birthday, Lagos.
Happy birthday, Lagos.
Wow. We've seen that Lagos is truly working, and there's a lot of progress that is happening in the state. Continuity, as we've seen, plays a huge role as each development increases year to year. We do hope that this continues though, and that other states take a cue as well. That's all that we have time for on today's show, but do join us next time. And remember that if you missed today's episode, you can go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and watch all the previous episodes as well. Till next time, my name is Fumbi Ogunbawo. Take care.